The real horror this Halloween is the Revenue Commissioners trick-or-treating to your door. Every home in the country has to decide how much they'll be putting in the property tax bucket. Follow our spooktacular guide to be penny wise. For the first time in 8 years, every householder in the country has to say what is their house worth, and this will determine their property tax bill over the next couple of years. Last time this exercise was undertaken was back in 2013. Now this time around, it's basically as of November the 1st, 2021, what is the market value of my home? The Revenue Commissioners have sent out letters to every householder in the country asking them to submit a return this time around, and I'm here at their headquarters in Dublin Castle to find out where do I go from here.
Firstly, you need to determine the current market value of your property so that you can identify which valuation band it falls into. Secondly, you need to submit your LPT return to Revenue by the 7th of November. And thirdly, you need to, when submitting your return, identify how you're going to pay your LPT for 2022. So whether you received a letter or you didn't, if you're a residential property owner, you need to do those three things by the 7th of November. You can use our online valuation map. You just need to type in your air code or your address, and quickly you can use the interactive map then to look at indicative valuation bands for properties in your area.
I'm here now at my own house in Butterstown in County Dublin, and I'm going to put a value on my own house. But first I'm going to go talk to my local auctioneer to get some tips on what people should do to establish how much is their house worth.
So Revenue obviously will assign you a band for what your property is worth, but given it's a self-assessed tax, you should do your own research into actually firming up on that value. The first place to go would be the Residential Property Price Register, which is a publicly available portal. You can look up what similar properties in your area would have sold for, and it should give you a guide as to maybe if the revenue band you're in is correct or if it's a bit off. You should look at the comparable sales, but also you need to take account if your property is a bit different, or if they're a bit different, for instance extensions, or if they're on side plots or things like that. Those things obviously affect value, so you need to kind of take those things into account. Now the next step you can take is to call a local agent. If you feel you're in any way uncomfortable with the bands that you've been associated with, or if you feel that you can't come up with the correct band yourself, the local agents will know the value of properties more than anyone. And even verbally, you know, with the tools that agents have, we'd be able to give you a good guide and a good ballpark figure on what your property is worth, even over the phone with a little bit of research.
So I'm ready to value my own house. Gone onto Revenue website, you're going into the LPT online. You can put in your own air code there. My house pops up, so it gives me they put me in valuation band 4. So that's what Leanne was saying earlier on. That gives you an indication. That's your starting point to go from there. That would put me in 350 to 437. I'll now go off and check elsewhere. Look at the property price register. I can do a search there. I'm going to put in the address and to see what pops up. Number of houses sold this year indicates that that's a tad low for this type of property in particular. I can also check on property websites to see what's for sale in the area at the moment, or individual estate agent websites. So it looks like while the map brought me in on valuation band 4, I'm actually coming out in valuation band 5 in the 437 to 525 bracket. So an LPT charge of 495, which was what I was paying anyway for the last 8 years. So I'm not going up or down, I'm staying steady with where I was. So using this system is really not all that scary this Halloween.